suddenly it's like the women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. I keep on thinking it's our time to fly. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever,
sorry. Here she comes. I see her coming down now. She's a half a mile back.
He's out of breath. Mr. John Grega will deliver the invocation. From the Bengali mystic Rabindranath Tagore. The time that my journey takes is long, and the way of it long. I came out on the chariot of the first gleam of light, and pursued my journey through the wildernesses of worlds, leaving my track on many a star and planet. The traveler has to knock on every alien door to come to his own. Let us pray. Creator of evening star and earthly path, this morning we come to a sacred time and place after a long journey. And though the stars above are not seen now, yet they do gleam down upon us and witness the journeys we have taken to reach this moment. We thank you for the path that has been uniquely our own. We thank you for the stars that guided us. Most of all, we thank you for those who have walked with us in laughter and in tears, and who encouraged us every step of the way. We pray before you, who live and reign forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. Mothers and fathers, grandparents, great-grandparents, and families of the class of 2000. Distinguished faculty, honored guests, members of the Board of Trustees, President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Herbert Wilgus, Jr., Vice President, Mr. Mark Blum, Mrs. Linda Wilansky, President of the Patrons Club, Mr. Stephen Thacker, President of the Alumni Association, members of the class of 2001, 2002, and 2003. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to McDonough's 126th commencement. Traditionally, that last sentence brings me to a brief halt. This is commencement, an end and a beginning for 126 outstanding men and women with whom the faculty have worked closely. And even though many of us would love to continue our work with you, it is timely and appropriate for you to move on. Please interpret our fleeting desire to hold you back as a sign of affection for the thoughtful and responsible people you are becoming. Throughout the country, schools and colleges are graduating classes of 2000, the first class of the new millennium. And the fact that you will always be the class of 2000 makes you special. However, your faculty and your parents and I know there are countless other reasons why this class has been and will forever be special. Standing here on this last day of the school year is always a special privilege for many reasons, not the least of which is the natural beauty that surrounds all of us. And I can't go on without a special thanks to all of the people in housekeeping and maintenance who worked so hard on this campus to make this place shine on this morning. And also, before proceeding, I'd like this audience to help me acknowledge a special group in attendance. It's a group that I think is also responsible for educating people. So will all the distinguished men and women whose proud title is either grandparent or great-grandparent, whom Tom Brokaw calls the greatest generation, please stand for applause.
people care enough to seize the initiative and lead the school academically and spiritually. Will you please welcome one of those leaders, the student body president, Paul Pinot. Paul?
Good morning, everyone. Standing up here today, I have so many different emotions running through my head. I'm happy to be graduating. I'm very sad to be leaving McDonough. I'm excited to go to college, and I'm anxious as well. But I think above all, I'm just really proud. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of my classmates. I'm proud of my family, of my friends, of my school. And I'm also proud to have been given the opportunity to stand up here today and introduce to you all someone who I have the utmost respect for. Someone who is a close friend and an amazing person. Someone who, wherever she decides to go in life, will be a great, great success and already is. Someone who, whether she knows it or not, is the perfect person to be speaking at our graduation. And on that note, I'm proud to introduce to you the Class 2000 Senior Speaker and Class President, Robin Edlow.
Thank you, Paul. It was really hard for me to decide what to say today. I thought about asking my dad for some ideas, but I've been kind of reluctant ever since he gave me my brilliant Star Wars Beam Me Up Scotty speech for my 8th grade SGA speech. Thanks, Dad. So I decided to maybe wait until I was inspired, but usually that means waiting until the last minute. And that seems commonplace for a senior in the springtime, but Mom doesn't approve of that one too much. But I did in fact become inspired, well before I thought that I would. I was reading a magazine and came across a Nike ad that I've seen and read many times, but I think it epitomizes what I should talk about today. Life isn't about keeping score. It's not about how many people call you, and it's not about who you've dated, are dating, or haven't dated at all. It isn't about what sport you play, or which guy or girl likes you. It's not about your shoes, or your hair, or the color of your skin, or where you live or go to school. In fact, it's not about grades, money, clothes, or colleges that accept you or not. Life isn't about if you have a lot of friends or if you are alone. And it's not about how accepted or unaccepted you are. Life just isn't about that. But life is about who you love and who you hurt. It's about trust, happiness, and compassion. Life is about avoiding jealousy, overcoming ignorance, and building confidence. It's about what you say and what you mean. It's about seeing people for who they are and not what they have. And most of all, it's about choosing to use your life to touch someone else's in a way that could never have been achieved otherwise. These choices are what life's about. At this point in our lives, we should all know what is right and what is wrong, what is enough and what is a little too much. We've explored our boundaries, both mentally and physically. But at times I fear how difficult it may be to make decisions completely on our own, without mommy or daddy to approve or disapprove. And how difficult it may be to start again, making new friends, without the ones we've gone to school with our entire lives. And at times I imagine that the real world offers no second chances. But I've realized that moving on to college is our second chance. It's our chance to be the person we always wanted to be in high school, but never had the time, the patience, or the guts to be. It's our chance to become less selfish and to understand better what it means to hurt someone and to be hurt ourselves. It's our chance to break down the barriers that cause us to pass judgments on others and place limits on ourselves. It's the chance to face failure and to pick ourselves back up to be so much stronger than we ever imagined. It's our chance to be exactly who we are and exactly who we want to be. I'm sure you've all wondered, as have I, if we would have the same values or morals if we hadn't attended McDonough. If we hadn't had the opportunity to play on a nationally ranked athletic team, to host a foreign exchange student, or to roam around on a campus that will most likely stand unmatched in its beauty to many of the colleges we will be attending in the fall. But what is it about McDonough that makes us appreciate so much these green trees and freshly planted flowers that surround us? Why is it that the feeling of pride and satisfaction that we can feel deep in our stomachs at this very second seems so right and so perfect, almost as if we don't deserve the diplomas we're about to receive? In truth, we've never deserved anything more than the feeling we have today. It's hard to imagine life without checking our first-class email every morning, without stepping into Mr. Seale's office on the way to class just to say hello, or without cheering in the stands for our friends to score the winning goal. Will we ever again encounter teachers as dedicated or as talented as our faculty at McDonough? It's hard to believe that we could be taught by anyone else with as much passion as Mrs. Corcoran, or as much knowledge as Mrs. Wender. We won't have Mrs. Onger to help us make all of our decisions, or Miss Danielle to show us that there need not be any limit to the amount of kindness one person can exude. McDonough has made us better people, and will continue to long after we leave here today. The passion, dedication, brilliance, and compassion that we've experienced day in and day out here is instilled in our minds. It was the late 1800s when John McDonough said that we must all study in the course of our lives to do the greatest possible amount of good. And it was a century later when Nike's ad stated that most of all, it's about choosing to use your life to touch someone else's in a way that could never have been achieved otherwise. The strong foundation of values that our school was built upon is still a common theme in society and in our lives. And the choices that we make and will continue to make will be influenced by what we've learned here. I have no doubt in my mind that we will all continue on through the course of our lives to live up to the expectations we had at McDonough, and to look back on every second with the greatest satisfaction and immeasurable pride. For years, we've watched the senior classes sit on this hill at Child's Memorial on their graduation day, and I've never imagined the feelings that were running through their minds. I have wondered if it was anxiousness and anticipation, or sadness and regret. Well, now I know that it's a little bit of everything. They were thinking about how hard it will be to leave a place as nurturing as this, and people as amazing as these. And on behalf of the class of 2000, I would like to thank everyone here who has touched our lives, and who has taught us that life isn't about keeping score. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. McDonough calls its school yearbook the legacy. And the legacy each year has a dedication to a member of the McDonough family. And to announce this year's legacy dedication, please welcome Sonia Dalby.
Laid back, composed, hardworking, dedicated, passionate. These are just some of the many words that describe the all-around McDonough man who can be seen anywhere on campus. Running a cross-country course with his energetic dog, teaching history classes on the first floor of Allen, or stopping to chat with boarders on a short walk to his campus home. He couldn't be anyone else but Mr. Jeffrey Sanborn. For the last 16 years, Mr. Sanborn has graced the McDonough community with his bright blue eyes and smiling face. Before his arrival here, he attended Bowdoin College, where he majored in history and government and lettered in his favorite sports, cross-country, indoor track, and track. Mr. Sanborn then went on to receive his master's degree from the University of Denver. After teaching at Friends Academy and Trinity Pauling School, he arrived at McDonough in 1984, excited and ready to be part of a new school where he now plays such an important role. Through his time here, Mr. Sanborn has affected many aspects of McDonough positively. In his early years, he worked mostly in admissions. Now he seems to be involved with all aspects of McDonough. Mr. Sanborn is a dedicated history teacher and cross-country and track coach, one of the faculty advisors to the Rollins-Luchtemeier program, and a table head and campus parent to boarding students at school. Mr. Sanborn is, however, first and foremost a family man and lives on campus with his wife Maureen, daughter Sarah, and son Rory. His pride in his family makes him the first priority of his life. Anywhere on campus, you are likely to hear Mr. Sanborn before you see him. A loud, infectious laugh and a distinctive Maine accent mark his presence, as surely as his LL Bean wardrobe. The most noticeable characteristics of Mr. Sanborn, though, are his amazing energy and big heart. Any student who has talked to him one-on-one about how to write a government paper or how to beat your record for a time mile knows that Mr. Sanborn is one of the most patient and supportive people McDonough has ever known. We are lucky to have such a down-to-earth, cheerful person on campus, and the legacy lovingly and respectfully dedicates the 2000 yearbook to this wonderful teacher, coach, and human being.
Thank you, Sonia. It's now my honor to announce the year-end academic and athletic awards to members of both the graduating class and underclasses. A small detail to help move the proceedings along with grace and dignity, I will ask that you greet the winners with warm applause as they approach the podium. Please try, if you can, to withhold applause as the same winner or winners as they return so that we may begin to announce the subsequent award. We will begin with Mrs. Millar presenting the scholarship awards by class. The faculty recognizes the following underclass students for outstanding academic achievement this school year. Please rise as I call your name. Please remain standing so we can applaud you as a group. And they're kind of back in the distance, sometimes hard to make out. In 9th grade, Luke Jesse Hartley Stewart. In 10th grade, Samuel Nathan Jonas. In 10th grade, Karen Elizabeth Kessler. In 10th grade, Anand Rajpara. In 11th grade, Daniel Benjamin Larrick. And in 11th grade, Chaitanya Rosden. Would you please stand? Congratulations. And now will the following 5 students come forward who have earned recognition for achieving the highest academic average for the past year. In the 9th grade, and we'll call them up as a group, Katie Rickards Bray, Gia Kang. In 10th grade, James Alexander Kaiser and Lindsay Nicole Winthrop. And in the 11th grade, Christopher Thomas Zerpoli. Come forward. And the Mercer Cup is awarded each year to that student in the upper school who is to return the following year and has the highest level of scholastic achievement for the school year. And the award is based upon the student's academic average for the entire year. The winner of the Mercer Cup this year is Christopher Thomas Zerpoli. Congratulations, Chris. The PIC award goes to that student in the senior class who has achieved the highest level of scholastic achievement for the year. Will Christina Renee Lisa come forward to receive the PIC award? The Robert L. Lambourne Award is presented jointly by Mr. Thacker, President of the Alumni Association, and Dr. Robert Lambourne in honor of Robert L. Lambourne, class of 1935, who was headmaster from 1952 to 1973. This award is made to that member of the graduating class who attained the highest academic average during the 4 upper school years. The top student in the senior class, Michael Ross Gordon. I'd like to recognize 5 other scholars in the senior class who have achieved the notable distinction of being finalists in the National Achievement Scholarship Program, National Merit Program. Just ask them to rise for our recognition and congratulations. Satya I.E. Logan, Laurel Jane Damashek, Stephen Nicholas DeLine, David Patrick Mister, Robert Edward Fight Smith. Congratulations. The Golden Eagle Award is presented to those seniors who have participated in an interscholastic sport every season of their upper school career. Will the following 4 winners come forward to receive the Golden Eagle Award this year? Scott Allen Afsel, Scott Brian Dolch, Martine Nicole Johnson, and Jared Appel Mays. The William C. Mules Leadership in Women's Athletics Award is presented by Ms. Deegan to a senior girl whose energy, enthusiasm, leadership, and courage have contributed to significant achievement in athletics. This award is given by the McDonough Alumni Association in honor of William C. Mules, class of 1959, and headmaster from 1976 until 1992. The Mules Award winner this year is Anna Lynn Eder. The Anson C. Markland Kelly Jr. Memorial Trophies are presented by the American Legion in honor of C. Markland Kelly Jr., McDonough class of 1938. These awards are based on the votes of the coaches and are made to the senior school boy and girl who through the years have excelled in athletics. This year's Kelly's trophies are presented to the following 5 seniors: Jennifer Nakia Ford, Thurgood Delano Cosby Jr., Eric David King Jr., David Lund Jr. 4 seniors, I'm sorry. The Stewart Senior Honors Performance Award was established by the Stewart family in appreciation for the school's outstanding programs in music, dance, and theater. The recipient must excel in one of these arts areas and be a notable contributor to the performing arts at McDonough School. This award is presented by Mr. Philip Olson in recognition of their contributions to the music program and their spring recital as part of the concert series. Each of these performers possesses the ability to cross the line, separating amateur from professional, to make a mark as an artist. And as I said to them personally, it was a privilege and an honor to witness the recital and their performances over the years at McDonough. Will Joseph Adam Aukter, Natalie Ruth Brooks, Rupa Nimagata, and Jonathan Kennedy Waller come forward to accept their Stewart Awards. In a brief but significant footnote, Natalie is a finalist in the Maryland Distinguished Scholar Talent in the Arts Program, a great achievement. Congratulations, Natalie. The John C. Bentz Award is presented by Mr. Bill Seal, Senior Class Dean, to a senior who has worked on behalf of school and community, giving service, comfort, and guidance to others. The award recognizing the service to McDonough by Freddie Bentz goes this year to Lindsay Brooke Wilner. The Good Citizenship Award is also presented by Mr. Seal to that senior who exemplifies in an outstanding manner the principles of good citizenship: honor, service, courage, and leadership. This year's winner, Wendy Laura Marie Wallace. The Henry Child Kirk Jr. Memorial Trophy is awarded on the basis of the judgment of the faculty and recognizes the most significant all-around improvement. Will David Lund Jr. come forward to accept the Kirk Trophy? The Edward A. Looper Award is presented by the McDonough Alumni Association in memory of Edward A. Doc Looper Jr., class of '41, to that senior whose sense of humor, cheerful attitude, and enthusiasm for McDonough have served to make each day a bit brighter for classmates. The Looper Award winner is Deidre Ann Byrne. The A. Ludlam Michaud Jr. Award honors Lud Michaud, class of '40, and president of the McDonough School from '71 to '76. The Michaud Award goes to that senior who, since entering McDonough, has been of the greatest service to the school. It is designed to recognize the otherwise unheralded work of an individual who has contributed to the operation of the school. I'm honored, Mr. Michaud, to present this year's award winner, Darrell Andrew Packard. The Cornucopia Award is given by the family and friends of Cerise Horn, class of 1986. Yes, the same Cerise Horn as in the Horn Theater. To that senior who most consistently, through generosity in word, deed, and spirit, extends a special caring and concern to the rest of the school. Community, with gratitude, the Cornucopia Award goes to Monica Elise Somerville. The Compassion Cup is given to that student in the senior class who has shown the greatest tendency toward the most cherished of all human virtues, compassion. A student who has the gift of understanding and sympathy for problems of others. Will Tamara Yvette Stewart come forward to receive this year's The Compassion Cup? The Howard C. Eith Scholar Athlete Award is presented by Mr. McMullen and Mrs. Millar to honor Mr. Eith for his 44 years of service to McDonough as a teacher, coach, and athletic director, and in recognition of his record as an exceptional scholar athlete during his years at Carnegie Tech. The award is presented to that senior who is an outstanding scholar and athlete. This year's Eith Scholar Athlete is Amy Colleen Hancock. The Brandon C. Wilson Class of '89 Award goes to that senior who, while exhibiting leadership in school activities, has shown also understanding, concern, and sympathy for fellow students. So an award that was presented in memory and honor of Brandon Wilson, a member of the class of 1989. I am honored to present the Wilson Award this year to Sonia Dalby. The Leadership Award for the senior class is designed to recognize a senior who has demonstrated leadership qualities and has helped make each year a smooth and successful one. I am delighted to announce that this year's winner was our speaker, Robin Beth Edlow. The Dedication Cup is presented by Mr. Seal to that senior who, in the opinion of the faculty, has demonstrated a wide range of interest and involvement in the academic and extracurricular life of the school. There are two winners this year of the Dedication Cup, and I think it's appropriate to call them separately, not together. Lauren Ashley Dandridge is the first. And Stephen Nicholas DeLine. The Character and Influence Award is a watch given by Mr. Herb Wilgus, President of the Board of Trustees, to that member of the senior class whose character and influence have inspired fellow students throughout the year. Mr. Wilgus, I would like to introduce you to the compassionate winner of the Character and Influence Award, Tamara Yvette Stewart. The Duncan Lyle Memorial Trophy is presented by the McDonough Alumni Association to the best all-around student in the senior class. The permanent trophy was originally given by the McDonough alumni to Mr. Lyle on July 4th, 1911, as a testimonial of their regard for him as a man, a teacher, and a friend. The award recognizes students who have strong academic records, who have been involved in athletics and activities, and who have demonstrated strength of character. The companion trophy, which becomes the permanent possession of the winners, is given in memory of W. Taylor Cook, class of 1946, an alumnus, an employee, a parent, a neighbor, and a sincere friend of McDonough. Taylor was himself an outstanding student, athlete, and leader. The Lyle and Cook trophies are given with pride by the president of the Alumni Association, Mr. Thacker, and by me. The description of the award speaks for itself and is presented to two outstanding seniors, and again, I will call them separately. The first is Arthur Paul Pinot. And the second, Jennifer Nakia Ford. Will you now please welcome the senior singers, directed by Mr. Philip Olson, who will sing Notre Père. Now it is my distinct honor to call on Heather Warnken from the class of 2000 to introduce our speaker and introduce someone that she is very familiar with. Heather.
Byron Warnken entered McDonough as a 7th grade boarding scholarship student and graduated in 1964. He attended Johns Hopkins University on scholarship, earning a BA in English. Following 4 years in the Army, he graduated cum laude from the University of Baltimore School of Law. That same year, he became a law professor at the University of Baltimore, where he has taught courses in criminal law and constitutional law for 23 years. He's lectured in 18 states and Europe, has appeared on Larry King, CNN Crossfire, and Geraldo Rivera, has testified in Congress, and has argued in the Supreme Court against Attorney General Janet Reno. He served 7 years on the McDonough Alumni Board of Governors and 2 decades as his class agent. For nearly a decade, he has conducted a 4-day Supreme Court program for Mr. Sanborn's advanced government class. 2 months ago, among the 9,000 professors in the University System of Maryland, Professor Warnken was selected as the recipient of the Award for Excellence in Mentoring. Okay, so maybe I'm a little biased, but at this time, I am proud to present the greatest mentor and father in the world, Byron Warnken.
Thank you. It is such an honor to deliver the commencement address at my alma mater upon my daughter's graduation. Class of 2000, I am so proud of you. Some of you I have known for 12 years. I have watched you grow in body, in mind, in attitude, in judgment. I have seen the rigorous demands of your curriculum, and I'm aware of the impressive array of college acceptances that validate your efforts. Class of 2000, give yourselves a hand. For each of the graduates, there are 2 people who appreciated the significance of a college preparatory education and who were willing to make the economic sacrifice. Not until next year will the class of 2000 be able to fully appreciate the tremendous academic advantage that has been bestowed upon them. Moreover, graduates, these same 2 people about whom I speak managed to survive your teenage years. Parents of the class of 2000, will you please stand, and graduates, will you express your thanks for their efforts? In addition, there are those magical people with the unconditional love known as grandparents. Will the grandparents please stand and be recognized? In Heather's introductory remarks, you heard that I was chosen Mentor of the Year for the state of Maryland. Graduates, I will tell you a brief story and then give you 2 pieces of advice. A mentor is someone who gives away as a gift knowledge, experience, influence, and access. The reason that I always share my knowledge, experience, influence, and access with others, particularly my students, is because I recognize that my ability to stand before you today has been made possible in large measure by the sum of the efforts of those mentors in my life who at key moments lavished upon me the gift of their knowledge, experience, influence, and access. My first mentor in 1954 was my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Lavetta McCoskey, who was a beautiful woman with striking white hair, an engaging smile, and a kind voice. She got me hooked on a lifetime of learning. She made learning fun. She made it so cool to know the answers. She was full of encouragement. Moreover, she made me know how very special I was. In retrospect, I realized that Mrs. McCoskey treated all of her students that way. Upon my McDonough graduation 36 years ago, she gave me this bound thesaurus that I treasure to this day. On July 1st, 1982, When some of the graduates were not yet born, I was granted lifetime tenure as a law professor. However, 1 year earlier, I elected to pursue the option of early tenure, which I was denied by a 1-vote margin. That afternoon, I went to visit Mrs. McCoskey, who advised me regarding the subsequent year's tenure vote. Her wisdom and insight were as sound in 1981 as they were in 1954. I would like you to join me in thanking my mentor, 89-year-old Roberta McCoskey. Ms. McCoskey, will you please stand? 1957, my 6th grade teacher, Mr. John Hill, who's now deceased, found something in me and urged, no, begged my mother to have me take the McDonough scholarship test. He suspected that my curriculum may not have adequately prepared me, so Mr. Hill took me home for 3 weekends and tutored me. I learned how to determine square roots while sitting at his dining room table. Then, on the snowy Saturday morning that marked my 12th birthday, I rode up the entrance to Allen Building for the first time. After I took the test, Mr. Hill, knowing that 325 boys were competing for 15 scholarships, wrote to McDonough, encouraging the school to award me a scholarship. On September 9th, 1958, thanks to Mr. Hill, I became Private Warnken, a boarding 7th grade scholarship cadet in a paramilitary school. Unfortunately, my honeymoon with McDonough lasted only 3 days. Boarding students had to stay at school for 3 weeks before they could earn a weekend pass. This 12-year-old had never spent even one night away from home with strangers. I became deathly ill with homesickness. I could not eat, I could not sleep, I could not study, I could not concentrate. I cried all the time. I was irrational, I threatened to run away. With 800 cadets to manage, including 300 boarders as young as age 6, McDonough should have cut its losses. But no, that would have been too easy. Instead, Commandant Alvin J. Levy, middle school head Quentin D. Thompson, and the headmaster himself, Dr. Robert L. Lambourne, made it their personal mission to save Private Warnken. For 6 long weeks, they took turns, encouraging me, persuading me, and when necessary, shaming me into doing what was right. Al Levy died in 1992. After he retired in 1986, he told me that in his 43 years at McDonough, no student had ever been as homesick and made it to graduation. In 1996, I argued in the Supreme Court against Attorney General Reno. In response to the favorable review of my oral argument by the Sun papers, I received congratulatory letters from both Q.D. Thompson and Bob Lambourne. Q.D. wrote that he was pleased that my argument went well and was also delighted to have participated in the one argument he knows I lost, the one in which I told him I was leaving McDonough and he told me I was not. 79-year-old Q.D. Thompson is also here as my guest today. Q.D., will you please stand? Even with a PhD, Dr. Lambourne was, for more than 2 decades, simply Bob to even the smallest first grader. 81-year-old Bob Lambourne is also here today. Bob, will you please stand? Unfortunately, the efforts of these 3 mentors were not enough to keep me at McDonough. As you may suspect, there's a high degree of macho behavior among 12 to 14-year-old boarders in an all-male military school. During in-processing in 1958, I was the smallest cadet in the 7th grade, standing only 4 feet 5.5 inches and weighing only 59.5 pounds. My stature, combined with my 6-week crying spell, made me ripe for teasing. I hated it, and I wanted to leave. In the military structure, the highest ranking officer in the middle school was a major. That major and one of his lieutenants encouraged me, protected me, and spoke up against the other boys for me. When you're a 13-year-old 8th grader, it takes character and courage to speak up against the masses for a nobody, but they did. Major Carl Schmidt is a missionary in China where he teaches English. Lieutenant John Sieverts retired from McDonough last year and is here as my guest. John, will you please stand? In the upper school, I had many mentors, two of whom I wish to recognize. Mr. Charles Kinard mentored me as my 12th grade English teacher, as the advisor when I was an editor on the school paper, and as an advisor to the oratory contest. He retired at age 75 the year I graduated and died 9 years later. 10 years after that, his grandson, Mr. Eddie Hall, was a law student of mine. In the 7th grade, I competed in the oratory contest and made it to the finals, but did not win. In the 8th grade, I again made it to the finals and again did not win. In the 9th grade, I made it to the finals, where in April 1961, I stood before the entire upper school. I had selected a powerful piece, Mussolini's 1936 speech addressing his black shirts of the revolution. About 1 minute into my presentation, I reached the line, "This is the greatest demonstration in the history of mankind." And oh boy, was it. I forgot the next line. I then panicked and could remember nothing. I stood for what seemed like hours in a deafening silence. Finally, Mr. Kinard rose from the back of Edwards' gym and said, "Mr. Warnken, that's okay. You can get your manuscript." But all I could do was sit down in horror. Later, when Mr. Kinard tried to console me, I told him that I would never speak in public again, because I refused to set myself up for that kind of humiliation. Although he claimed to understand, that sly old fox had a plan. After that, Mr. Kinard went out of his way to run into me and befriend me. The next year, Mr. Kinard asked me if I planned to enter the oratory contest. My response was polite but firm. No way. He changed the subject. Knowing that I loved baseball, he said he thought Ted Williams was the greatest hitter of our time. I was impressed because I didn't even think he knew anything about baseball. By the way, Ted Williams, who had retired 2 years earlier, batted .406 in 1941, and since then no player has batted more than .390. Mr. Kinard asked me if I was aware that Ted Williams once went 0 for 5, including 4 strikeouts. Worse yet, he came up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, with the tying run on 3rd and the winning run on 2nd, and before a capacity home crowd took a called 3rd strike to end the game. No, I conceded that I was not aware. Mr. Kinard then stated calmly but assuredly, "Mr. Warnken, great hitters have terrible days. Likewise, great orators have terrible days, and I think you can be a great orator." For the next 2 weeks, he worked on me. When I finally agreed to sign up for the oratory contest, Mr. Kinard congratulated me and suggested that as a great orator, I had to be willing to take a risk. I asked what he meant. He told me that he wanted to stand in the back of the gym and hear Mussolini proudly and defiantly address his black shirts of the revolution. 3 weeks later, I bellowed out those lines as if Mr. Kinard were the only person in that gym. I won the oratory contest in the 10th grade, placed 2nd in the 11th grade, won it again in the 12th grade, and received the oratory award at graduation. With Mr. Kinard's encouragement, I competed successfully for the lead role in 3 plays during my last 2 years, including Billy Budd and George Washington Slept Here, and I remembered all my lines. On December 11th, 1996, Nina Totenberg, the anchor of National Public Radio, announced that she had seen the Supreme Court argument. She gave Attorney General Reno a B-, and she gave the professor, she didn't even use my name, an A. I appeared on Larry King and CNN Crossfire and MSNBC and Geraldo, and thank you, Mr. Kinard, for being exactly the right mentor at exactly the right time. Mr. Kinard's son-in-law, who was married in that chapel, Mr. Ed Hall, and his grandson, my student, Mr. Eddie Hall, are here in Mr. Kinard's stead. Will the Mr. Halls please stand? The final mentor I would like to recognize came to McDonough in 1957. He was my JV baseball coach for 2 years. He taught me about teamwork and leadership and work ethic. He taught me about reaching down inside of myself and finding more. He provided great encouragement when appropriate and a kick in the rear end when necessary. He taught me U.S. history the year President Kennedy died, and then ironically taught my daughter U.S. history the year John Kennedy Jr. died. He didn't just teach stuff, he taught you to think. He dealt with the what-ifs of those moments in history in which one little thing influenced and irretrievably changed all that came thereafter, in a sense like my mentors have done for me. Later, with his students, he even produced a book about the what-ifs. His influence caused me to minor in U.S. history at Johns Hopkins University, and to this day, I am glued to the History Channel. I would like you to join me in thanking my mentor, who at age 73 is still a member of this faculty. Marty McKibben, will you please stand? Well, you have heard my story. Now, class of 2000, I have two pieces of advice. The first is how to be a good mentee in college, in graduate or professional school, and when you are new in your career. No one of you can make it alone. The question is how to find those mentors who will invest their knowledge, their experience, their influence, and their access on you. I have learned that to be a good mentor requires a large time commitment. It simply takes time, a lot of time, to give away my knowledge and experience to many people. I've also learned that to be a good mentor, I must be willing to lay my reputation and credibility on the line when giving away my influence and my access. How do I choose the students to receive my mentoring? There are 3 cuts. The first cut narrows it down to those students I know personally from among our 1,000 law students. The second cut narrows it down to those students who show me a sincere work ethic. The third cut narrows it down to those students who show me they are good and decent and kind human beings. For those who make all 3 cuts, I give away for free all of my knowledge, all of my experience, all of my influence, and all of my access. Each year that you are in college and in graduate or professional school, and during the first few years of your career, be sure to make the first cut. Make yourself known. Go to each one of your professors during office hours and introduce yourself. Also, be sure to make the second cut. Show that professor your work ethic. When you go to the professor's office, take with you carefully prepared written questions about the material you are covering in class. Questions whose answers will assist you in understanding the material or will take you a step beyond the material. Professors love to teach, especially in one-on-one settings. Turn in every assignment timely and thoroughly prepared. Then be sure to make the third cut. Prove to all of your professors through your conduct, your words, your demeanor, that you are a good person. Be someone who your professors will want to help and about whom they will gain a sense of satisfaction in helping. I share with my students all of my knowledge and experience. I mentor my students by guiding them in planning their courses and careers, as well as developing their resumes. I mentor my students by obtaining internships, summer positions, and permanent positions. After 23 years, I've acquired the knowledge, experience, influence, and access, and I know how to use these powerful tools to the advantage of my students. Most of your professors will operate similarly. For the next 5 or 10 years, be a good mentee by understanding how important it is to be mentored and by knowing how to cultivate good mentors. My second piece of advice is how to be a good mentor. There will come a time when you are 30 or 40, and you will be the one with the knowledge and the experience and the influence and the access. Spend those things as if they existed in unlimited amounts, because they are only limited by your willingness to give them away. It won't cost you anything except time and an attitude of caring. Surely Mrs. McCoskey, Mr. Hill, Major Levy, Mr. Thompson, Dr. Lamborn, Major Schmidt, Lieutenant Sieverts, Mr. Kinard, and Mr. McKibben did not mentor me so that they could receive public recognition as many as 46 years later. They mentored me because they could and because they cared. And they thought that they just might make a difference in someone's life. Let me assure you that their kindness and love have been noticed and appreciated. And yes, each one of them has made a difference in at least one life. Before leaving you, I would like to acknowledge 2 other people. One of them is my mother, who died of a heart attack 9 years ago while at work at age 73. She was the oldest of 3 children born to 2 non-English speaking immigrant parents. Her father died when she was 9. 5 years later, in July 1932, at the height of the Depression, she made her mother 2 deathbed promises. The first was to keep the family together. She kept that promise. Upon her mother's death, this 14-year-old girl moved her family into the basement of a neighbor's house, went to work 6 days a week, and raised those boys in that basement. The second promise was to make sure that the boys got an education. She kept that promise too. In fact, 14 years after her mother's death, in the year that I was born, my mother graduated her brother, the kid who was an orphan at age 12, from medical school. My mother was the most remarkable human being I've ever known. She was my inspiration. The other person I would like to acknowledge is my wife of 31 years. She is the love of my life and the mother of our 2 wonderful children, Byron and Heather. For nearly a third of a century, this kind and selfless and unassuming human being has truly been the wind beneath my wings. Bonnie, I love you. Will you please stand? Class of 2000, please accept my heartfelt congratulations on your graduation and my best wishes for your college years and beyond. And Heather, Mom and Byron and I love you so very much. Thank you.
The most meaningful part of the morning is the awarding of diplomas to the members of the class of 2000. The diploma stands above all other awards as the most distinguished honor we can bestow on a student. Each diploma is granted on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees to honor each young man's and women's successful completion of McDonough School's academic requirements. Equally important, each diploma carries with it the responsibility to carry forward the school's trust, while sustaining a respect for learning, the life of the mind, and a commitment to a better world. Diplomas also represent friendships, hardships, relationships, commitment, success, failure, and caring. Inevitably, this day will be filtered through time and distance and less frequent associations with McDonough, but the accomplishment of earning a diploma at McDonough School will provide you with strength and confidence to meet the challenges which await you. Your leadership, your talents, and your energy have been prominent this year, and each diploma is granted with enthusiasm, with confidence, with hope, and with respect. The seniors will also receive alumni cards signifying their new status as members of the McDonough Alumni Association. Those cards will be presented by Mr. Thacker, President of the Alumni Association, and assisted by Mr. Dave Ferrace, McDonough's Alumni Director. I now call on Mr. Seal, Senior Class Dean, to assist. Mr. Herb Wilgus, President of the Board, to extend congratulations on the behalf of the trustees. Mrs. Millar, please present the class of 2000.
Scott Allen Opsel. Nicole Jocelyn Apollon. Justin Benjamin Aronson. Joseph Adam Ochter. Wakeman Kurt Alman. Nana Isabel Badu. Samantha Lauren Bart. Mercedes Van Drathen Bell. Vikram Basin. Alex Warren Boris. Natalie Ruth Brooks. Michael Foxwell Birch. Patrick Rogers Baidoon. Deirdre Ann Byrne. Julia Angela Cassidy. Lauren Michelle Cohen. Thurgood Delano Cosby Jr. Sonia Dalby. Laurel Jane Damashek. Lauren Ashley Dandridge. Sarah Gabrielle Dansiker. Stephen Nicholas DeLine. Andrew Stephen Dickman. Annette Frederica Dixon. Scott Brian Dolch. James Brian Dowd. Anna Lynn Eder. Robin Beth Edlow. Suzanne Elizabeth Eichhoff. Rachel Marie Engel. Todd Carroll English. Anne Catherine Marie Field. Jennifer Nakia Ford. Catherine Dawn Foss. Anna Michelle Frank. Janet Lynn Frankel. Elizabeth Flora Gelber. Ryan Reeder Gens. Brian Matthew Gold. Brandon Joseph Goldman. Mason Stansberry Goodhand.
Hey, Nate.
Michael Ross Gordon. Susan Susan Beth Green. Waleed Ramsey Hodge. Amy Colleen Hancock. Matthew Rogers Harrison. Michael David Holman Jr. Kellen Mary Hoover. Catherine Ray Hyatt. Kyle Joseph Jacoby. Jennifer Jo Jennings. Martine Nicole Johnson. Matthew Gordon Katkoff. Gary Michael Kabajian. Eric David King Jr. Matthew Robert Coble. Emily Lauren Kramer. Jennifer Elizabeth Kuntz. Spencer Philip Lindholm. Christina Renee Lietza. Mary Elizabeth Maxwell Lloyd. Satya I. Logan. David Lund Jr. James Noah Mark. Rachel Lee Marcus. Gerard Appel Mays. Julie Eileen McCartney. Caroline Addison Meyer. Jennifer Lynn Mishner. David Patrick Mister. Sherry Rachel Morstein. Nicholas Walter Molesdale. Shantanu Narayan. Rupa Nimagada. Matthew Spencer Newsonoff. Darrell Andrew Packard. Sarah Rosalie Parsons. Megan Ann Patanella. Arthur Paul Pinot. Nathaniel Heilner Strauss Pittman. Antoine Delonte Pollard. Mohammed Adil Kreshi. Leslie Ann Richardson. Ira Joelle Rigaud. William Taylor Rollins. Joshua Simon Rosen. Seth Daniel Rosen. Niall Hussein Russell. Kenneth Sanders II. Aaron Joy Saperstein. Samir B. Satwa. Gabriella Rose Chavino. Matthew Brandon Schilp. Jason Max Schubert. Ilana Beth Siegel. Francis Ann Sellers. Alex Gregory Schaller. William Joseph Scheck. Samir Sid. Jonathan Abram Sindler. Kevin Thomas Smith. Robert Edward Fike Smith. Dennis Lee So. Monica Elise Somerville. Catherine Audrey St. John. Tamara Yvette Stewart. Frederick Campbell Thompson III. Jameson Vaughn Todes. Benjamin Harris Turkis. Jonathan Newman Tversky. Tracy Nicole Tyler. Vikrant Uberoy. Rachel Elizabeth Urban. Laura Averill Valderas. David Brandon Valeri. Wendy Laura Marie Wallace. Jonathan Kennedy Waller. Heather Bronwyn Warnken. Rafeh Ahmed Wasim. Daniel Palmer Wolanski. Thomas Mackin Williams. Lindsay Brooke Wilner. Monique Donnell Wilson. Pamela Elizabeth Zanikis. Lisa Marie Santi. Christopher Alexei Zook.
When we work with exceptional people, faculty and students, we witness special gifts delivered on a daily basis. And like most gifts, they range in size, some very small, sometimes unnoticed, acts of kindness, others more dramatic and conspicuous. The gifts may include a thoughtful insight in class, an inspirational community service project, a concert, an exhibit, a game. This year we often witnessed the gift of music, of song. And I thought therefore that it would be appropriate to deliver my brief message to you, the class of 2000, through music. Don't panic, there will be no reprise of Midnight Train to Georgia. Instead, I want you to listen carefully to the words and music of a song presented by Miss Tamika Lund, the sister of graduated senior David Lund. Tamika, we welcome you.
Impossible dream to fight the unbeatable
Tamika, thank you so much. And now I'd like to ask the concert choir, led by Mr. Phil Olson, to lead us in the dedication hymn.
So would all senior singers come forward? All members of the concert choir who are present, please come forward. And I'd also like to invite all alumni of the concert choir, senior singers, or the old madrigal group, please to join us for the singing of the dedication hymn. In case you don't recognize that title, sometimes we call it the Founders Day song, so please come up and join us. If you don't think you remember it, I'll give you a piece of music. And David Lund, that includes you too, yes.
Begin the benediction with a reading from Tagore. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength lightly to bear my joys and sorrows. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend my knees before insolent might. Give me the strength to raise my mind high above daily trifles, and give me the strength to surrender my strength to thy will with love. Let us pray. Lord and friend, this morning's final words ascend to you and express our hope for all the days to come. We have sung our joy and gratitude, our love and honor, and now we go forth to sing our song in all the days that follow. May we open our hearts to you and to that strength you alone give. Strength to bear life's joys and sorrows. Strength to stand with the poor against the insolent. Strength to surrender our strength to your will with love. With this strength, our song will never end. We ask this of you who live and reign forever and ever.
thank you all for supporting a great class. I declare this commencement adjourned.